Yeah. What's up? Guys, I do not know there's a new beta build coming. In fact, I don't even think there's going to be one today. I just wanted to talk to you all. That's it. Isn't that crazy? The realms are already down? Oh, I actually didn't know that. I'm serious. That is cool. Love that. Guys, I need a good pre-workout. You guys have any recommendations? Max, question from my wife. Do you think Nick or Atlas are hotter? What? Your wife wants to know which of my raiders I think is more attractive? All of my raiders are an equal level of attractive to me. I would date all of them instantly. They're all extremely attractive men that deserve all the women in the world. All right, let's check it out. So, good pre-workout. All right, I need a good pre-workout. I need two. I need a good pre-workout. I've been working out for a while now, but I don't use pre-workout. Mostly because I work out late at night, and I can't take caffeine, or else I'll ruin my sleep, which will completely ruin the purpose of going to the gym in the first place. A lot of people don't know that, by the way. You see, like, gym geeks, like, fucking their sleep, but going to the gym every day. You're literally doing nothing. uh, what is it? Echo Vision has a good no stim pre-workout. Okay. Okay, pre-workout that has 300 milligrams of caffeine, that is absolutely fucking stupid, by the way. That is, like, not good for you. That is really, really bad. You don't need 300 milligrams of caffeine to feel like an absolute beast in the gym. That's just a dangerous amount of caffeine. Go for Hide. All right, let's check it out. Hide pre-workout. Oh, it's... Nah, 1,000 milligrams of caffeine is danger. I want to fight God when I work out. Yeah, I mean, if you're trying to go as hard as possible, like, it really does. Like, pre-workout is really good. Like, when you go to the gym, you want to stress your muscles as much as possible so your body can adapt and get the most gains from it. That is true, right? And, like, you're just, like, when you're, whether it's due to pre-workout or good nutrition or showing up with a lot of energy, whatever it is that gives you what makes you do that is the best. But purely based on muscle growth. But muscle growth is not, like, mutually exclusive with like, good health, right? Like, actually, like, a McDonald's McDouble has, like, pretty good macros for just building muscle, but, like, obviously that's really bad for you for other reasons. Like, you could do the absolute best possible thing for your body to build muscle, and you could still die by the time you're 50, you know? Who cares though, as long as you die huge. That's fucking insane. I might die early, but I'll be fucking huge. Let's go. What is it? I'm just kidding though. I was a competitive bodybuilder on steroids for a while and I'm off now and I'll never go back. Yeah. I definitely have an angel on my, or I guess like a devil on my shoulder that's like, because I've been playing so much hockey recently and I'm literally just running into the problem where I want to play and get better at hockey so much, but my body just doesn't recover in the amount of time. So I'm basically constantly overtraining and I have to force myself not to do it. And the solution to that, there's a few solutions to that, but one of them is steroids. Like, I could just do anabolic steroids. I don't really give a fuck about being huge. I just want to recover faster so I can keep playing hockey. But the downsides are just way too bad. Like, the downsides are absurdly bad. It's like the worst thing you could possibly do for your health. But I was tempted, though. They aren't bad for your health if done correctly. I don't want to fuck with anything like that. I've heard enough bad stuff. I was on Test, Trend, Mast, Winstrol, Anvar, HGH, and more, and my lipids were fine. Heart was fine. Then why'd you stop? You said you stop and you're never going back. Made you infertile. Oh shit. That's a positive side effect for me at the moment, so that would be that would be a positive effect. They call me no fertile Frankie. Come on. They can also make you more fertile. All right, fuck that. What is it? Plus, bodybuilding is an extremely selfish sport that takes away from your personal life and relationships. Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, for me, playing hockey, it's like a benefit. Like, I have, like, most of my friends are hockey-based now, like IRL. Plus, I wouldn't even know really where to get started on that. Guys, I don't want to do steroids. All I'm saying is, if there were like a miracle drug, like, you know, for people who are trying to lose weight right now or people with diabetes, like Ozempic is like this, like, fucking, it's like a miracle drug, basically, right? At least until many, many years go by and they find out a lot worse side effects or something, but it's obviously helping a lot of people. Like, bro, if there was a kind of drug where I guess like steroids or whatever, where like the side effects are really small, but like it allowed me to play hockey twice as much as I do now, I would be happier in my real life significantly. And I would be getting like the goals I wanted to achieve in hockey, which are not strength related. They're purely, right now I am progressing at an extremely fast pace. I try to play 2 hours a day purely with the purpose of getting better. And I just can't keep up with that. Like, it's impossible. Right? And I'm pretty sure the only way to do that would be taking steroids, but I just don't. I don't know. Just steroids to me, I don't know any. I'm not educated on them. They sound scary to me, and I don't really want someone to like try to convince me that they're good and then be wrong. I would want to talk to someone important. I'm not gonna do this shit. I'm not gonna do that shit. It's a permanent health risk for looks. Guys, looks nothing to do with it. Just to be completely clear. Looks are... This has nothing to do with that. This is not like roids to go to the gym. Guys, I'm also not even considering taking roids. I'm just telling you, like... I was just thinking the other day, like, what would make me happier in my life? And it's like, well, if I recovered fast enough to play twice as much hockey as I can do safely, I would want to do that. You're not considering because you already are on roids. Sus G. Yeah, people do say that about me. It's whatever. All right, anyways, going live. Here we go. All right, chat, what's up? Oh, it's dark in my room. Shit! Yo, girls, come here. Hey, all dogs. Let's go. Dude. Reptar hasn't started chewing shoes, but he's showing signs. I just found like one of my shoes in this room and I have no idea why it got in here, and I think Reptar like put it in here. But he didn't chew it. Have you considered cryotherapy? I haven't. I haven't, no. I have like an ice bath at my house and a sauna that I do sometimes to help recover. But like I've been kind of weaned off of the ice bath because I've been told that it can kill your gains. But right now I'm not really trying to make gains. Right now I'm trying to just play all the time. So maybe I should be doing that more. How much did you pay for that ice bathtub? I got a nicer one. It was pretty expensive. I want to say it was like you can get an ice bath for hella cheap if you don't care, but I wanted to get like a really nice one with like a good warranty on like the chiller and stuff. So it was pretty expensive. I got one of those Renew Therapy ones. One of these things. Here, I'll find it for you. Here you go. I got this bad boy. This is what I got. I have one of these in my, just outside of my bedroom door. Paying to sit in cold water ain't no way. Yeah. Holu. Yo, Dorky, grats on being free, bro. Dude, that was the weirdest. I had the weirdest feeling when I was watching you guys play on Sunday. Because, like, obviously you guys are doing this and you want to win. And, like, competing in the tournaments is fun. It's the practice that isn't fun. But, like, part of me was like, dude, I mean, if they qualify or don't, like, they want to qualify. But I also know that... like, there are people that on your team, maybe even you, that are like, if it's over, they'd just be like, dude, fucking thank God. Not to do with like your team specifically or anyone that you're playing with, like you or Ellesmere or whoever. I just know that like when people, there is no more relieving feeling than being done with that shit. What is it? That's what we all said before going in. Either we win or we win. That's exactly my point. That's how I felt on Sunday. Like, I was thinking like you guys had like were in a key to like qualify for the global finals, and I felt to myself, I was like, I should have been like, oh my God, I fucking hope they get this. Like it means so much to me that they get this, because if it meant so much to you, I would feel that way. But I know that you wouldn't care either way. So I that's how I felt. Guys, can we fucking talk about how good the Potty C is, by the way? Like, we made this dumbass podcast, like, I think, man, it was like almost 6 months ago now. It is so fucking good. Like, it is like, if you were to ask me 6 months, because I listen to a lot of podcasts, by the way. I'm a podcast connoisseur. I listen to like 15 podcasts. I'm not kidding. Like, and I don't miss an episode. So like, I am a podcast consumer. I know what makes podcasts good. I am like so happy with the product that we have. Like, I think it is as good as it could possibly be for what we were trying to do 6 months ago. It is fucking, it's funny. It's not reliant on WoW content. It'll be interesting and good no matter what. We have like a great group of like rotating guests. It's just fucking perfect. It's only unfortunate it's not often enough. Ooh, could we do twice weekly potty C? I mean, I think we could pull it off because most of our I think it's good in a week. I'm not saying we should move it to, but I think we could. My initial concern with it was like, is there going to be enough stuff to talk about? But every time where we start some episodes and we're like, we have all this to talk about, and then we start other episodes where we're like, guys, what the fuck do we talk about? And the ones where we don't even talk about what we're going to talk about and we just send it live, I swear those are the best episodes. So like, we actually could do twice weekly if we wanted to, but I think weekly is perfect. Y'all are just professional yappers? Bro, ain't that the fucking truth? Growl perma is the move. Growl's really good. Yeah, he's like top tier podcast quality. I think it makes more sense to have him as a rotating guest. I think 4 people on a podcast is a lot of that's a lot of people per episode. And it also like kind of removes the ability to get guests, you know? Because like then you're at 5, which is fucking crazy. It's like a lot too hard to follow. Yeah. Growl is the usual fill-in for when someone misses. Well, also Growl, just even when all 3 of us are here, are great. It's just having 4 people all the time for a podcast is really crowded because it makes it really hard to get guests. What is it? It's too bad you guys haven't been able to get Blizz devs or people like Ghostcrawler on. We haven't really tried, to be fair. Lol, kick dorky. Bro, I don't want to hear any of this shit, by the way. I'm going to ban you guys. You guys in YouTube comments or in my channel that, like, because you guys like Growl are suggesting to kick other people, I don't take that as a fucking joke. I don't want to hear that shit. That's disrespectful as fuck. I don't ever want to see that shit again. I just tuned in and said I'm going to ban you guys. I believe you because that's the first time chat. Imagine this is your first time in my channel ever and I'm like, guys, if you don't do what I say, I'm going to fucking ban you. Just get out, right? Just fucking get shit on. Stay small. Skatey ice. It's skatey puck, bro. You are live. Must mean 4 hours until notes. Okay, I will be 100% honest with you guys, okay? I went live today and I didn't even know beta servers. Actually, only someone in my chat told me beta servers were down, so I'm assuming. But I've been told that the beta servers are down. I did not know that when I went live today. I did not know that when I went live today. I did not know. I still do not know if there's going to be a beta build. I'm pretty sure this update I'm downloading is actually for last week's beta. So, yeah. What is it? Max, your interview with Quasi was great. Most positive dude in WoW, interviewing one of the most... See, okay, I'm actually surprised people find interviews of me interesting. Do you know what I mean? Like, I'm not a mystery. Like, I feel like if you guys ever wanted to know something about me, you would just come in here and ask me, and I would have answered it 1,000 times. Right? Like, nothing you heard in that Quasi video, if you were ever a fan of mine or listened to my stream, is something... Like, the only reason I think those things are good is it introduces me and that side of me to a different audience. But, like, if you watch my stream, you see that side of me every day. So, like, I feel like it would just be watching a stream. Almost, kind of. Max, okay, monitored suspicious user says, Max, you and your girl are at the bar for drinks. Kungan walks in and sits next to you guys. He looks your girl dead in the eyes and unfurls a length list of pre-Wrath of the Lich King World First. What do you do? I'd probably just sit there and let everyone laugh at him. I don't think I would, like, step in and defend him or anything. What did you want me to answer to that? That's what someone would do to me, too. Imagine I go to the bar, I look your girl dead in the face, and then I open up WoW Progress, and I'm like, you know, I do have quite a few world firsts under my belt. Everyone there should laugh at me, because that's embarrassing as fuck. That's like, why would you do that? Also, I don't got a girl at the moment, which is fucking ideal. We're feeling great out here. Let's see, Max, are you going to do class talks again like you did in Dragonflight? Man, okay, in Dragonflight, I did, but I feel like those were more needed in Dragonflight because they were changing the whole class and spec trees. I feel like with hero talents, it's not enough changing. That being said, this game is an absolute Mickey Mouse game right now. Guys, let me tell you something, okay? Oh, you guys are asking about Suki. When did you guys break up? Hope you're okay. I'm fucking amazing. We've been broken up for like almost 5 or 6 months now. I feel great. She feels great. We just grew apart. We were together for a while, grew apart, very amicable. The reason I haven't talked about it on stream much or tweeted about it is because it's none of anyone's fucking business. I just bring it up casually, just saying that, like, I don't have a girl thing because that guy mentioned that. But yeah, I'm extremely happy being single at the moment. Not looking to change that at all. Actually, I'm able to spend a lot more time with my friends, play a lot more hockey than I would be able to if I had a girlfriend. Living at home with my dogs, which goes fucking hard. Feeling great. Anyways, that's just a quick little side thing. But okay, guys, going into Dragonflight. If you were to ask me, how far out are we from the expansion right now? 5 weeks? 4.5 weeks? Something like that? Is it 5 weeks from right now? Okay. All right, check this out. Check this out. Going into Dragonflight, if you were to ask me 2 months before the expansion, a full 8 weeks, we would have already done weeks of dummy testing. Beta testing for raids would have been over. And I would have showed you, and I did show my guild, what I thought based on design and based on the fight design, what the best comp for Razageth would be. And I was exactly right. What we ended up running on Razageth in our guild was figured out 2 months before the expansion came out, purely based on DPS and tanks, actually. Because healing is some Mickey Mouse shit that eventually gets figured out. But that can always change right up into. But like DPS and tanks and like raid buffs and like who was playing what, that was all figured out. And the game really didn't change since then. Like little minor things changed or whatever, and it was right. Guys, it is 5 weeks before the expansion. If any single person was confident enough to tell you what a comp would look like, outside of the obvious, they'd be just making it up. Like, the game at the moment, I don't think it's been talked about enough how unbelievably unbalanced the game is. And this is what I don't understand about this. going into Dragonflight, they actually changed significantly more. The class and spec trees were, I mean, an infinitely large undertaking compared to hero talents, right? Maybe in Blizzard's defense, this expansion, they've also like kind of revamped most class and spec trees in the game as well at the same time as hero talents, to be fair. It's not like they've just only done hero talents, but bro, like, and maybe another thing is like, thank God there's heroic week this time, so they'll have like a week to figure that out before any content comes out. But bro, the game is like a total fucking total joke right now. Like nothing makes sense. Some classes, every druid spec feels bad. If you were to tell me right now which Mark of the Wild buff you'd want to bring to the raid, I would say some comical ass shit. Like, who fucking knows, man? Like, they're all trash. So like Rogue is fucked. There's like mages are still doing like 50% more damage than the next class. That's obviously not going to be the case. It's like, how can you figure out like what your comp's going to look like? Because clearly what is going to go live looks nothing like what it looks like right now. It's just a total meme. And I just, the reason I'm bringing up any of this is I haven't seen this talked about a ton, because I know a lot of people don't. Maybe the reason why it's not talked about a ton is like a lot of people wait to determine what those comps will look like based on what we do. So I'm just giving you like a firsthand thing from someone who's usually figuring this out a little bit ahead of time, that it is totally fucked right now. It's crazy. Like how weird balance is in this game at the moment. And hopefully that gets cleared up today or one of the next few weeks. But I've honestly never seen anything like this going into an expansion. I've never seen the game this. It's just completely random. Like classes will just be doing 50% more, 30% less. Like there's nothing. It doesn't even remotely look close to what balance looks like. So weird. Max, in more fun news, did you hear the national anthem singer at the home run derby was drunk? I heard something about this, actually. I haven't heard the actual anthem, though. Okay, here, let me see. National anthem home run derby. Home run derby, anthem singer addresses Andress entering rehab. Let me just hear this bitch one time. Not the girl, the song. I guess I shouldn't refer to things randomly as that. That sounds insanely bad. Okay. Here we go. Here we go.
Oh, say, can you see?
Okay.
By the dawn's early light, what so proud
Oh my god.
we hail by the twilight's last gleaming.
I'm not gonna. This is like cringeworthy. That's crazy. Well, I mean, now that you know that she's drunk too, that's I kind of feel bad, because then it's like someone who's battling some shit, you know. So she's singing in cursive. Okay, it's a pretty good bit. Yeah, that's tough. Yeah, hopefully she's feeling better. You can. I mean, now that you know, you can kind of see it, right? Literally that right there. Do you see the little shrug? Literally right. I don't know if you guys clocked it. Right here. This is something that you can only do when you're drunk. Ready? Look at the little flick of the wrist. That thing.
Can you see?
That's crazy. 4 times Grammy nominee, by the way. I mean, people of all different kinds of success can struggle with... I have a really good friend of mine, by the way, that is clean now, but like really, really struggled with addiction, like really bad for like close to 5 or 6 years. And he's like one of the best people I know. Like no matter how good of a person you are or talented or anything like that, you will... You can fall into stuff like that. Everybody has their own shit. Don't look down on anybody for that. Could happen to you. What is it? Damn it, Max. I only suggested it for the memes, not the feels. Oh, shit. Oh, no. What have I done? Boys, I'm going to one of my, so very rarely in my life do I get to do like a, you know, like a privileged cool thing, like, you know, you have like some like famous friends or like people, you know, just like you don't usually get any special privileges for being like known on Twitch or anything like that. Like usually what happens is people will notice I wear Team Liquid stuff, and then I tell them a game I play, and then they're immediately really disappointed because they thought they were meeting someone cool, right? But like one of those things is happening this week. One of my friends is renting out like a theater to watch the like an early screening of the new Deadpool movie with a bunch of people, and that's fucking sweet. I'm fucking hyped. I can't wait. And you know what I get to do? I get to wear our new merch thing. That, well, I think it got announced, right? Because people were memeing me already. Yeah, guys, I know. By the way, I won't be looking at it, but like Team Liquid announced some like they're doing like a Deadpool and Wolverine collab. I don't know if they've announced the whole collection yet. I think this is the tweet. I don't like looking at. I don't like. Dude, I look like such a jock. Look at me. But I did actually. I hate looking at myself like this. But apparently, I'm laying down in one of the pictures, and people are just saying Max looks like he's just doesn't want to be there at all. Look at this stare, bro. Someone look at this fucking stupid memes you all made in my Discord, by the way. Look at this. Or this one. I fucking hate all of you, man. I fucking hate all of you, bro. Look, I did want to be there. I can't help that I know when they're like taking pictures of me. Like they just tell me what to do. Dude, I hate doing photo shoots, bro. Not gonna lie, these made my evening. Dude, guys, like, I don't get it. Why do you, I look at my sub Discord sometimes, and most of the time it's just making fun of me. Like, whenever you can. I don't, like, what is the fucking point? I should just shut this shit down. You know what I mean? Looking fit, though? Yeah, so in that photo shoot, so ever since I started playing hockey again, the last time we did a race, which I think was like last November or something, we had a cameraman. It's really cool. And he was there for this as well, and he saw me from like the race till now, and he literally was like, whoa, what the fuck? You look like crazy in shape. Like, what have you done and stuff like that. It made me feel really good. But yeah, it was like the last time for me being on camera at an event style thing. Between then and now, I'm like 10% less body fat, like 30, 35, 40 pounds or something like that. It's a huge diffy. But I also apparently looked like I didn't give a fuck about anything. So, all good. Max, is it true that you hard slammed Gingy Juice since the last race to reach your current form? I have a bunch of Gingy Juice. He sent me some. Bro, I wonder if I still have it. Let me see if I find it. I don't know where it is. Maybe it's in like my supplement closet or something. Or like cabinet in my kitchen. You were awake for 48 hours when I took a bit too much. Do you know what the worst mistake we've ever made with stimulants before was? It was on Sarkareth. We like turned our stream off to do a little bit of Sarkareth progress the night before we killed it. And then we got way farther than we thought. And we were like, yo boys, let's just fucking kill this thing. So we slammed some M's. And if you guys don't know, slamming monsters right before you go to bed is like the worst thing you could ever do. And it has nothing to do with being able to go to sleep. It just absolutely ruins the quality of your sleep. So we did that, and then we only pulled for like an hour and a half or two, and then we were like, all right, guys, let's just like go to sleep for a few hours, wake up and kill it. So then we decided to wake up at like 5 a.m. or something to go in and kill the boss, and it worked. But like, we took M's that late at night, and then we barely slept, so no one actually rested at all. We should have just stayed up. Like, we would have played like shit, but we probably still would have. I think we would have killed it fast. I think we would have killed Sarkareth faster had we blasted some M's and just stayed up all night. Or if we went to bed a full 8 hours before slamming M's and then just waking up and killing it on a full night's rest. Both of those would have been better. Yeah. Sounds like you're talking about Molly. Our whole guild calls them M's. Yeah. Have you guys never watched a race before? We refer to them as M's the whole time. Also, Shaq and Fired Up refer to all the cameramen that come in and out of the rooms while we're playing to get B-roll. They call them shooters because they're doing a photo shoot. It's kind of disorienting if you haven't heard it before. Like, so, like Shaq and Fired Up will be like, we'll all just be in the middle of a pole, and Shaq would be like, yo, everyone, mate, watch out, they're shooters. Wasn't there some drama because people misunderstood? I don't know, probably, who knows. You've watched every race since Nyalotha, and I've never heard it. You've watched every race since... So every race since we've been sponsored by Liquid, where we've been sponsored by Monster, there's absolutely no way you've not heard of us talking about slamming M's. And that is absolutely... That is not true. Or you watch that shit on mute, yeah. Is JPC still a raider? Nah. He has lost his passion. He is currently not playing until he can get his passion back. I think he just crashed out on one expansion of Dragonflight. He just went super hard in the beta somehow, or it was in Shadowlands, right? And then he got invited to this guild. He got a couple world firsts, and then now he's now I guess he just doesn't care anymore. After the world first stuff, then he didn't want to log in and do keys because it seemed like it wasn't the stakes weren't there. And then as far as I could tell, and then now he's I don't know, dude, the only thing I want to log in to do is raid, but then I have to play this game for a year. This actually happens to a lot of our players. You join this guild and you really like playing the game all the time. You want to parse whatever, you want to do whatever, and that fiendish obsession is what makes you good enough to end up in a place like this. And then you get here, and then all that other stuff seems insignificant, and it's nothing makes you happy anymore. It's the race is this crazy high that nothing else can achieve, right? You don't care about parsing ever again. You don't care about High Mythic Plus again. It's just there is this and there is nothing else. And it's not for any other reason that it's just nothing lives up to it. And then this has happened to a lot of players where they reach that high and then they seek that high. And when they don't have it, it's the game doesn't give you the same fun anymore. Max, how hyped are you for this race compared to the previous? I get the same level of hype for all of them. They're all really fun. What is it? I somehow managed to break out of the down phases. I'm just perma-hyped. Yeah, those are the people who end up doing this for a while. People who can figure that out. I figured out my shit for sure. Here's how I solved never being depressed about WoW, is I just don't do farm. That's been my biggest hack by far. Is we do the race, we figure out the raid bosses, I show up for the first few re-clears, and then I hard dip until the next year. I haven't been to one of our raids since the very first week of Fated, and then before that 3 or 4 months. That's the fucking strat. Can other players do that though? Not all of them at one time, but we do let players take time off if they're burnt out, yeah, every time. Because if a player's burnt out, there is no, and you want to keep that player, there is no option to just make them keep playing. Because then that person's never going to become unburnt out, and then you've just lost a really good player. Right? Max, after all the raid boss testing, what do you think? What boss will be the wall? What's going to be the hard to climb over? It's always really hard to tell in testing because things change, right? Like, for example, we killed Tindril in Mythic testing last tier. So, like, I went in saying Tindril would be a sub 20 pull boss, but then they just made the boss 100 times harder. So, who fucking knows? Sometimes bosses are super insane, and then they end up being really easy on live because they nerf them. Like, for example, like right now, I mean, I think when people ask where a wall's going to be, they assume it's not the second to last boss and the last boss, right? Like, going into the raid and saying Tindril will be a wall isn't like a crazy hot take. You're basically saying the second to last boss is going to be the first boss that's hard. Okay, that happens a lot, right? What you're really asking for is there going to be a Painsmith? Is there going to be a Sludge Fist? Is there going to be something before the second to last boss that's like a super hard boss? And this expansion, that was like Skarn. That was, kind of Dathia in a way, right? Maybe Smolderon for some people felt like that. Halandris? Well, Halandris was like... Halandris, there's never been anything like Halandris. Halandris, we tested it, and there was these orbs that floated around the edge of the room that gave the boss a DR, and you had to kill them before hitting Halandris. And then there were Odin runes, and your whole raid had to stack up based on the rune on their head. Like, we just tested a completely different fight in Halandris testing, and then they somehow accidentally made, like, one of the best or the best boss of all time. Do you think Mythic Silken Court is going to get nuked with nerfs? I don't know about nerfs as much as, like, remaking the fight, kind of. Like, okay, so, like, Silken Court in that current state was possible. It just would have been, like, one of the most insane bosses ever. Like, it's just the fight gimmick is insane. Like, if you were to do this, right, like, take any fight you've ever played before and say, okay, 10 people in one raid have one buff, and 10 people in the... or 10 people in the raid have one buff, 10 people in the raid have another buff. And if those players ever touch, they both instantly die. And every time a mechanic happens, the other 10 people drop an orb that will kill you if not soaked, and you can only soak it if you're the opposite color. That's what Silken Court is. That is probably the most challenging mechanic ever. That's just like... what you have to do to make that work is absurd. So... they've already messed around with it a lot. Like, I'm actually really interested today to see if they change it even more. Because, like, I'm sure what they saw from that testing was, like, okay, this is kind of a lot. So they can either keep that mechanic and slow the fight down, or they could change what spawns certain mechanics. Because it's doable. It's just, like, the amount of orbs that spawn is insane. It definitely seems like a clusterfuck, though. Nah, the ad spawning orbs was fine, yeah. The ad spawning... well, the ad spawning orbs wasn't that bad, actually. That actually was something I feel like we solved really quickly by just aggressively solving that problem. But, I mean, even if you take the ads out of it and you just do the entire fight with that, with how many things spawn and how many web bombs are in the room, and P2, the timing of the P2 dispels, it's just... the fight is a fucking crazy... it's just crazy, you know? So I'm sure Silken Court will probably look a lot different than what we tested it, yeah. But like, nerfed isn't the right word. I just think it's gonna be like redesigned. Like let's look at it this way. I would love to see the feedback that the QA testers who have to spend an entire day on Mythic Silken Court are giving to that fight designer. You know what I mean? I want to see how far they got in 10 hours of doing that fight, or however long they work. Like, I mean, just something here is not quite... especially, it's a really... you know what's honestly interesting to me? It's a really interesting decision to see Silken Court, the second to last boss of this raid, going into testing, being this hard. Because... and just to give you an idea of how hard, is I can say this pretty confidently, I think Silken Court on Mythic testing is the single hardest boss that has ever been tested. Like, you are a guild preparing for testing, you show up to testing, the boss that is there available to you, getting that boss from 100 to 0 in that hour, I don't think I've ever seen a boss even remotely that difficult in testing. It's like significantly higher than the next one. And I find that really interesting after Tindral and Fyrak. Because it's not abnormal for there to be raids with Tindral and Fyrak. In fact, Tomb of Sargeras, Fallen Avatar, and DKJ is exactly the same, right? Like, this has happened before. But you could tell the community hated what it felt like going from Smolderon to Tindral. It was just too big of a jump. And Blizzard has said in interviews that, like, well, maybe Smolderon, Naimu, and Laredar were a little too easy for their spot in the raid, which I think is true. And they're like, and maybe that wasn't as big of enough of a jump, but I still think Tindral... I think both things are true. Those bosses were too easy, and then Tindral was also too hard for too long, right? This has been well documented. But that was true. Because Smolderon, Naimu, and Laredar were so historically easy for the spots they were at in the raid, there were some guilds that were maybe would have normally been to Tindral on week 12, but they were there on week 8 because there was all these Mickey Mouse bosses, and they're not usually on a second to last boss in week 8, and they're just not good enough for that. Plenty of guilds can get cutting edge, but are not good enough, and maybe they killed those bosses in weeks 20 and 24 like they do every tier, but if the tier's easier before that, and one tier you actually get there 4 to 5 weeks earlier before the nerfs your guild normally gets before you get there, you're going to be fighting above your weight class, right? You're going to be trying something that is a lot harder than what you're used to. And I think for a lot of people, not only was Tindral clearly too hard for too long, but it was also, the jump was just such a... You went from, like, killing reasonable bosses to doing something that's clearly way too hard for you. And I think that feeling is really bad. So it's just interesting to me that Blizzard's first optics of how they're going to respond to that problem, I think a lot of people would assume maybe they chill out on the raid difficulty a little bit. But what they actually did, and again, that's not live yet, so it doesn't really matter how it is on testing. There have been some really hard testing bosses that have been easy, some really easy testing bosses that have been hard. But they released literally the most complicated mechanical fight they've ever made in a test. And that's the first thing you see after Tindral, which I just think was definitely a choice. Like, clearly one thing that didn't happen, which I think some people wish happened, was like maybe they had a meeting like, hey guys, maybe the raid difficulty is getting a little too hard. Right? Maybe people thought that might happen. That's happened before. Maybe people thought that might have happened after Tindral. That obviously did not happen. If whatever led to that Silken Court boss being tested ever looked even remotely like that. That meeting never happened, so... who knows? Max, most mechanically hard boss so far, since we haven't seen how last boss will play out. Well, yeah, of course, but why would we talk about the last boss? It's not being tested. Who wins in Pong, Tindral, or Court? Question of the year. I think if Silken Court was released, not even in its current form, but it's like something roughly relating to what it is in that test, I think would have taken significantly longer to kill than Tindral for World First. In my opinion. But also, it's just a testing boss, right? P3 would be insane with all the dodging. No, P3 slows down a bit. P3 is not as bad as you'd think. Yeah. And for what it's worth, the Silken Court intermissions are actually really fucking cool on Mythic. Like, I think they actually work out really well. That mechanic can easily be done in the intermissions, and it's hard, fair, really good. It's the phases that just seem like they're not made really well. Let's see. The crazy thing to me is Silken Court difficulty isn't the kind of thing a new ICC buff will nerf. Yeah, true. What is it? Imagine them having an interview after Sofo saying the game making fight super difficult, and yet here we are 1 exec later having gone through Tindral and looking down the barrel of Council. You mean Silken Court. Yeah, I mean, I think they like what they do. I think they're going to keep making the last two bosses for the Race to World first, like they have forever, and then they're gonna nerf them. I think the problem they need to solve is they've tried to stick to the same thing they've done forever, which has always worked, but there's one small problem now: the upgrade system. So you can't, if you make bosses for us now, like you always have, but everyone else isn't gaining 15 to 20 eye level, like over us because of the upgrade system, then you're going to have what happened the last two tiers. But like you said, they are adding some kind of ICC buff, right? That's been announced. They're going to have like some kind of progressive raid nerf, or like player buff, raid nerf, same thing. That happens throughout. I don't know exactly how it works, actually. Maybe I could look that up. But that is a solution to the problem. What is it? 3% damage and healing per week, up to 45% total. Okay, that's honestly, that's probably going to solve the problem, to be honest with you. I think that's going to solve like a large amount of the current issue while keeping the upgrade system intact, which is, in my opinion, this was the biggest downside of the upgrade system. Max, is that static coming from your mic, the music, or my headphones? It's coming from my mic. I have some grounding problems with my electricity that I need to have an electrician come out for. I've just been too lazy to deal with it. They said they want it to be 20%, not 45%. That's probably fair. I mean, 45% is a big number. That's a large number. By the way, when does that start happening? Does that start happening right away? No clue. All right, everyone's just making it up. What is it? Sofa was also an insane outlier, not really that comparable to Amir Drasil. That's true. Yeah, that is true. Sepulcher was... The reason that everything was super hard was just... Like, okay, it's super easy to see why Sepulcher was the way it was and why it was that long, right? Sepulcher... we talk about how there's certain raids where like they identify a boss and they're like, okay, guilds aren't going to be here a while. We can make these bosses and we're going to tune them to be difficult for the race world first. That has happened for a long time, and that whatever, right? But they usually choose the last two bosses. Did they tune Smolderon for us? No way. We fucking smoked that boss. Did they tune Magmarax for us? No. Right? It's clearly the last two are the ones they focus on. The only difference in Sepulcher is just they chose Halandris and then Anduin and then Lords of Dread and then Rygolon and then the last boss. So instead of two bosses being tuned for the race to world first, they just chose 5. They chose from the 5th boss to the end. We're going to tune this for exactly the amount of gear you have right now and no less. And that just made everything like that, which is fucking crazy. That race world first was lit. Viewership wise, it was really weird. Like, viewership was crazy on Halandris, and then crazy on Anduin, and then crazy on Rygolon, and then that was the end of how long race to world first normally are. And then we saw like a phenomenon happen where we got to Jailer, we're finally on the last boss, and some combination of Jailer being unwatchable, the tier have already been out for that long, and people aren't used to watching the race world first for this many weeks, right? The viewership on Jailer absolutely cratered into the ground. Like, viewership from Rygolon to Jailer across both guilds went down by like over 50%, and then like it only picked up right at the end when it was dying. But even then, it didn't reach the peak of Rygolon. So it was I think that shows you where like people ask about an ideal race to world first length. Right around 2 weeks, I think, has been proven to be where viewers are like, they can get into it for that long, but when it's a lot longer than that, a lot of people tune out. But I don't know how much of that was due to Jailer being a very hard boss to watch. Who got world first on Rygolon again? Echo did. Echo did Rygolon was also fucking super sick progression watch, I think. Because very rarely do you get to see our guilds choose to progress bosses in a different way. Like, they were like, and this is words from their mouth, they said the damage check with 4 healers is impossible, or 5 healers is impossible, we have to 4 heal this. So then they dropped to 4 healers, and then it took them like 6 hours of progression to even see to the end of the fight. But then once you see to the end of the fight with 4 healers, the boss just dies. And then we were like, I'm pretty sure we can kill it with 4 healers or 5 healers or whatever. And then we woke up and did it with 5 healers and killed it like that. So you saw 2 different, very different approaches to kill the same fight. Which was, I think, pretty unique and rare. You don't really get to see that. That is you're seeing guilds like pull a boss a certain way based on their guild's strengths. And that is really uncommon. You don't get to see that a lot. Gotta love that it was barely possible with 2 different strats. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. What was it? What do you think a world where the race was like 10 hours long would look like for viewers in the guild? Oh, like global release, both of us get it at the same time and it's over in 10 hours? I think that would be a really hype 10 hours, and it would potentially have a higher peak viewership than it has now because you don't have to follow it over multiple days. But that would be very bad, I think, for us, right? I mean, think about just pure fun-wise, right? We know every 5 months, usually in an expansion, we're going to get 2 weeks of all-day, everyday content where we get to hang out with our friends and get all flown to a facility and have chefs cook food for us. Like, it's really fucking sick, and it's our favorite thing to do. Wouldn't that be super boring if instead every 5 months we got 1 day of content? That would be like, that would turbo suck for us, right? Also, we would lose a significant amount of money. Like, the fact that this runs for so long over 2 weeks is like we obviously we get so much more overall viewership to that. Our price for advertisers goes up a lot because of how long they get to advertise. Would probably ruin the guilds financially. Yep. Which is why, by the way, you guys always ask why the WoW Race World First is so unique. Like, I've heard this happen in other games where I've heard people talk about it where they're like, well, do we stream World First Race? Well, we have a bigger chance to lose. And that's like the negative. And it's like, what's the positive? Oh, well, maybe there will be money. Like, you have no idea if that's true. And then you're like losing for what? Players are always going to care about losing more than money. And then you don't know if the money's going to be there at all. And then let's just say your raids are over in like a week or less. There's never going to be enough money in your scene for anyone to care anyway. So it's like, it's literally it's like an anomaly that the WoW race is like perfectly exactly what it needs to be successful. What is it? Echo have picked up a team to stream the new Savage race. I hope any game gets a like huge Race World First scene. Savage is over in like a day. You'd have to get people to stream ultimates, and streaming ultimates in Final Fantasy is probably an even bigger like nerf than streaming WoW. Because like a lot of Final Fantasy races have been like, Final Fantasy is a weird game. You'll basically be presented with a couple of things of information, and you have figured out how to solve that, but there's like 5 different ways it could be solved, and you won't know until you try the other 4. And sometimes you pick the right thing first, and now you're an hour ahead of another group. What streaming would do is would remove the skill and also luck quality of guessing right on what could possibly be the solve. And it would just immediately give it away as soon as someone does it, you know? So it's like, that would be way worse. What is it? It doesn't help that everyone cheats. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I actually met with a bunch of Final Fantasy creators when they were here for the media tour. Like Xeno, Arthars, Lamatod, Quasi, a couple other people went out and had dinner, hung out for a day. And like they were like, yeah, I mean, the main reason people don't stream is literally every group uses just a plethora of plugins and whatever to make them have themselves give the best chance of winning. And they were laughing how like that other team got banned who got caught. Like basically some Japanese team won, and then like there's 8 people in that game and they had a 9th man, and their 9th man wanted a clear, and their team said like, yo, we're not going to get you your clear right away, and that guy just crashed out and apparently just like leaked that they use add-ons, and they became this like pariah. They became like they like banned them from the game. They were publicly shamed by all the casuals of that game, and meanwhile every other rating team wasn't sitting there trying to claim the real world first, because every single one of those motherfuckers knows they were doing the same thing. And it was only that team who got ostracized for doing it. So it's fucking good shit. Does double AUG still look like the play for Prague? Oh, we personally haven't tested the stacking of AUGs again this going into this expansion. We've actually delayed a lot of our damage testing that we're normally deep into testing by now to figure out what's good, but it just seems pointless. It's a total meme. Like nothing is real. It's all fucking it's all a meme. So I couldn't tell you. What I will tell you is, unless something drastically changed with augmentation that I'm not aware of, or if they make any change in the future that I can't obviously predict, you will always want, if you're playing optimally, you always want 2 AUGs in raid. They are very OP. 3 is not better than 2. 2 is better than 1. 1 is better than 0. 2 is better than 3. You want 2. Exactly 2. They could change that, I guess, but that's how it is right now. That being said, if you're in a guild that is not optimizing AUG, and what I mean by that is like looking at spreadsheets in a fight and doing the super annoying task of making sure you know exactly who the best 4 people to buff are during every Evan Might window, which I'm just going to go ahead and say there's less than 100 guilds in the world that do that. Then 2 AUGs is not OP. You probably wouldn't even want any AUGs if you're just buffing like your top 4 DPS. You'd rather just bring another DPS. Yeah. Do you think AUG is that important even for World 600 plus guilds? I just said no. If you're not optimizing it like that, AUG is like an okay class. You can play whatever the fuck you want. Max, are you happy Heroic Week is back? Oh, yeah. Huge. Yeah, big fan. The only thing I'm a little scared of is whenever they talked about Heroic Week being back, they kind of implied that they thought it would only be for this tier. Now, I'm not super scared of that because I think if people enjoy having Heroic Week back, I don't think they're going to back off from it. Because I think they're probably monitoring that feedback. But, dude, if they did Heroic Week this raid and then in Raid 2 they went back to that simultaneous release bullshit, I would be depressed. It's so bad. Let's see. With Heroic being back, as expected, there'll be more or less splits ran than previous tier. When Mythic is out? Or do you mean, like, including Heroic Week? Because if you're including Heroic Week, there will be significantly more splits, just like there used to be. But if you're... But I don't think people ever really cared about that. Like, I think the splits that viewers don't like are splits when Mythic is available. I think when Mythic is available, they just want to watch Mythic. Right? Because there used to be Heroic Week. No one ever complained about splits ever. But then Mythic came out, and we mostly just did Mythic, so everyone was happy. The only time people complained about splits was when, like, Mythic was available, but there wasn't a heroic week, so we had to do 3 days of heroic splits first, and then people are like, well, are they going to progress now? Do I tune in? Like, I don't know exactly what I'm supposed to watch. Like, I'm being advertised. It's like being advertised that a football game is going to be on at a certain time. And then, like, you turn it on, and it's like 2 hours of commercials first, and you don't know exactly when they're going to end or when the game's going to start. That's kind of what it's like, right? What is it? It was much worse for Race World First viewership when you all could have been doing Mythic. Yeah, Race World First viewership is heavily buffed by there being a heroic week. It is so much better. Yo, what's up, Julian? When are we thinking Enhance is getting 1-pointers like Ellie? 1 week before the War Within or 2 years after? I think they already said. I don't think Enhance is getting changes to their tree before, unless they change their mind. I think they said they're getting them in 11.1, like it's actually probably not going to be 11.1. It's going to be last expansion and all the 0.0.5 patches. They did a ton of tuning, so whatever, probably 11.0.5, whenever that is. So probably like a month and a half or 2 months after the expansion. I'm assuming. I mean, it seemed like they clearly said that. Which does suck if you're Enhanced for sure. I think Enhanced is still, well, Enhanced doesn't have a good hero talent situation at the moment, but it definitely sucks for sure. I think the most down bad people are Demon Hunters are down bad, Rogues are down bad, and Enhance is down bad, as far as like talent trees are concerned. And then I heard that all the Druid specs are in like a state of disarray at the moment. Rogue is astronomically dog shit right now. Yeah, but that's the thing, though. I mean, if you mean design-wise, that's not going to change. But, like, one beta build could come out and your class could go from amazing to dog shit or dog shit to the best class in the game. Like I said, everything right now is just a total meme. The game balance right now is in the worst state it's ever been going into the expansion. Some classes are only good because their hero talents are doing way more than they should. So those hero talents, like, if you can bet on one thing, by the way, you can bet that hero talents across the board going into the expansion are going to be within like 5% of each other's power. And what I mean by that, what is this? What was I talking about here? Dude, this was so long ago, I actually don't even remember. Okay, whatever. I don't even know what the fuck that was even about. Oh, it was Sofo viewership. We were talking about that. It was like a while ago though. Like multiple weeks, I think. Fuck, I already forgot what I was gonna draw. Fuck, what were we talking about? Oh yeah. So let's just say how much do you guys think hero talents should be a percentage of your damage? You guys think 10 to 15, 15 to 20, 20 to 20, 20 plus, under 10? What do you guys think? I'm thinking 10 to 15 sounds right. Okay, so let's just make up that they want 10 to 15% hero talent damage. If your class right now they're like 20 plus, okay, let's even say they're 20 plus, whatever. All I'm saying is whatever they decide is the best. Let's just say for the sake of argument, they decide that hero talents should be 10 to 15% of your damage. That's going to be true across the board, or very, very close. So if your hero talent is currently giving you nothing, you're going to be better than you are right now. If your hero talent is currently giving you 50% of your damage, like it is for some classes, you better hope that they nerf that now so they have time to fix the way your class plays before the expansion comes out. One thing that'll be true is they're going to make the hero talents very, very close to each other. So, which is why the game is such a Mickey Mouse meme tuning thing right now, because hero talents are all over the place. So if you're doing a ton of damage right now, you're not like, oh, this is great, we're gonna be sick this expansion. You're literally waiting every week just to see if you're gonna get sent down to the Shadow Realm because they fixed your hero talent. What is it? They haven't even fixed the bugs with the hero talents either, so they need to do that too. Yeah. Said I don't think the expansion is actually relatively unfinished as far as like raids, zones, stuff like that. Like I think most of the game seems like it's at the point of being released, but specifically uh the like class situation right now, tuning is so out of whack. But I don't think that would be enough for them to delay an expansion. I don't think they really care about that. Like, I don't know. Class balance is always like kind of out of whack in a way, so you can just fix it later. I think they're probably heavily relying on Heroic Week, I assume. Max, are you going to get into EA College Football 25 at all? I bought it yesterday. I played it after stream. I don't know. It didn't seem... It just seemed like Madden to me. So, first of all, I love sports games. I am predisposed to playing sports games. I enjoy them. So, just know that, I guess. But I don't know. It just felt like Madden in every way, especially to me because I'm not the target audience, though. I imagine college football's target audience are people who are nuts about their local college football team, and they're just going to, like, do rebuilds and like they're gonna turn their program into something, you know, and stuff. But like for me, I went to college. I went to the University of Louisville. I don't give a fuck about college sports. I don't feel like that religious feeling towards college football. I don't care. But a lot of people do in America. So I imagine those people are going to like the game. So for me, I'm just playing it just for the game. And I saw they had some Ultimate Team mode, which I have no idea how the fuck you're going to pull off Ultimate Team in a college football game. That seems interesting. But I mean, they're always going to do that because that's just how they make all their money in these games, is by scamming sports fans into paying for players that they already bought in the previous year's version. Not even when Lamar Jackson was there. When I went to U of L, Teddy Bridgewater was there. He was the quarterback at U of L. He hit on my girlfriend too. I remember that. I didn't even get mad either. I was just like, that's cool. Teddy Bridgewater hit on my girlfriend. Let's go. I'll remember that. Teddy Two Gloves, yep. Come on, man, huh? Dude, why would anyone care if someone hits on your girlfriend? Like if someone hits on your girlfriend and they like know it's your girlfriend, then that's super weird. But like if someone's just hitting on a girl that they find attractive until they find out they have a boyfriend or whatever, like that's just normal. Like why would you ever, that the most insecure thing ever is like your girl getting hit on when they don't know that they have like a boyfriend and then just being like, "Oh, I have to fight this guy." Like, bro, you just have to like know you're better than them. And if that's not true and that girl leaves you for them, then she wasn't fucking worth it anyway. I've actually never felt any kind of like protectiveness or anything like that, cuz like if it ever, you can do whatever you want, and if it ever goes weird, then like that's on you, right? Worry more about her response. I'm not worried. Like if her response is like, "Ooh, big football players hitting on me," it's like, get the fuck out of here. Unloyal as fuck. I'll just find another one. Do you even watch Andrew Tate? Are you alpha male or what? Nah, that guy's a huge dumbass. Dude, I hope. Wait, were any of you guys, by the way, you can be perfectly honest. Like, were any of you guys like ever super influenced by like that, like cringe alpha male bullshit, no matter who it was, but then you like saw the light and got out of it? Like, has that happened? I mean, maybe it's hard to admit. Actually, I don't know if that's true of anybody, but like, I think it's like kids more than anything. Like kids that have like bad parents or like are going through a phase or something can like probably. I mean, I imagine that entire fan base is just like kids without a lot of friends or self esteem. But I just want to know if any of you guys had an experience where like you listened to that shit and you didn't really know where you were in your life right now and you're like, "Ah, oh, that's why. It's because I'm an alpha male." And then you got out of it though, you know? Some of his takes are good. Oh, there's someone in it right now. The alpha male boot camps. Yeah, I've seen a few like videos of those. Those are pretty good. Ban him? I'm not banning him or making fun of him. I think there's a lot of people who think they're too smart to get scammed, and I think they're wrong. Like if you guys got into that shit and you were going through a bad time in your life, I think that makes sense. I don't look down on you for that. You'll grow out of it. Get cheated on, then turn a tape. Bro, have you guys ever been cheated on, by the way? I did when I was 18. Dude, that was actually pretty rough. That was like I think maybe the reason I feel that way now in relationships where it's like, dude, if they really run around and do some shit, like they're just instantly dead to you, so who cares? Right? If they do that. So you don't have to like worry about where they're at all the time and be protective. Just like live your life, have a good time, I'll support you, and if you do anything weird, you're just fucking gone, right? I think that came from that maybe. I was like 18. Dude, that tore me the fuck up, bro. That was like, I think maybe that's true of anyone if you've had that happen to you. Because it's like just the feeling of betrayal and you really liking the person. But then you're also young and you know that, like, you don't know at the time that you're dating an absolute fucking loser. Right? Like, I think you're old and someone does that and then you're like, oh, you probably would have clocked the fact that they were a total loser before they had a chance to cheat on you. But as a kid, you have no idea what the fuck you're doing. So, like, I guess it's just a shock because you haven't been in a lot of relationships and know what's going on, you know? What is it? I'm surprised. I don't know how a lot of marriages survive after someone cheats. It's probably because they have kids. Because, yeah, I mean, or they, like, are afraid of being alone. One of the two, right? Some armchair psychology here, but, like, if someone cheats on you, like, if I'm dating someone and they cheat on me, that is fucking it no matter what. They could be a fucking supermodel, giga rich. That's just, it's over instantly. Right? But like if you have kids, maybe you feel like an obligation to figure things out because I've never felt what that is like. Right? I've never had a kid. Like and why I'm not going to pretend to know what that feels like is I imagine when you hear people talk about this that have kids, they're like, bro, I had a kid and I was all about myself. And then like that kid came out and everything in my life changed and I would do literally anything for the kid. Like I started saving money. Every decision I made became about making sure they had the best life possible. And it sounds insane that your entire perspective changes, but I completely believe them. I would have no reason not to believe them, right? So like I feel like if you have a kid, maybe there would be a reason why you would stay. Max, maybe personal question. Are you single again? Yeah, I talked about this earlier today. I don't know why this came up multiple times today. I've been single for like 6 months. Which, by the way, a lot of people are gonna say, like, give consolation and consoles, guys. I'm happy as fuck. I'm like the happiest I've ever been in my life right now. Seriously, I am feeling amazing. Breakup went fine. We still talk every now and then. Friends. If I saw her out, I've been to a few places where she's there. We're chill. We're like good friends. It's all good. Totally, totally amicable. Both moved in different directions. Moved in at the beginning of COVID. Uh, lived together. We were together for 5 years. Just I don't know. I was like 26, and now I'm 31, and I want different things in my life. She wants different things in her life. It's just how it goes sometimes, man. Sometimes no one did anything wrong, man. It's just you're looking for different things. You're just a different, you're looking, you have different goals, different drive, different things in your life going on when you grow. Uh, you know, I'm fucking chilling. His DMs are open. They're really not, by the way. I don't, please don't do that. I know Dorky's kidding, but like I have absolutely the idea of me missing a night of playing hockey with my friends to go on a date with someone disgusts me. That makes me want to throw up. I want nothing to do with that. What is it? Happy for you. Hope my breakup stuff passes over sooner than later. Oh yeah, it's sad. Yeah, I mean it's been. Yeah, I've been through some tough breakups. Never usually on me. I am usually always the breaker upper, and that is the worst. That's the worst feeling of all time. I know this is gonna sound really stupid. Actually, I'm just gonna go ahead and say I know this is a stupid take, but I'm just gonna say it, and you can make fun of me for it. But like, I feel like breaking up with someone is just as hard as getting broken up with. Like because if you have empathy or care about them at all, like you're just fucking ruining them, and for you, you're already over it, so you don't, but like, I don't know, it's obviously harder for them, right? Because then why would you feel empathy if it wasn't going to be harder for them? I think I'm making it up. Max, do you think that underplayed specs that got good reworks like Survival and Frosty K will get a boost to their player base and representation in the meta? I think over time, yeah. Holy fucking topic change, by the way, but I think so. Because like a lot of the reasons those classes were like, no matter what your class's design is like, if your class is ever OP for a patch, people will play it, right? See Survival back a few seasons ago. End of Shadowlands. But like there are fundamental things that make classes better at dungeons every season compared to others. Like Frosty K's are like immune to being good at dungeons because like the entire spec is tuned around Breath, and Breath is the worst dungeon talent of all time. And Obliterate should be good, but it like kind of can't because it shares a lot of things with Breath, and then Breath would be too OP for a long time. But like classes that are not good in dungeons, or classes that are good in dungeons, often it's not an accident. They just have a lot of tools that make sense. Like Windwalker's actually a great example. Like Windwalker has probably, if you were to pick an all-time Mythic Plus comp, like since the beginning of time, like the beginning of Legion, I think Windwalker would be in it. I think Windwalker has probably been meta more than, or like top 3 DPS spec that has been meta since Legion. And even when they're not like meta, they're like, I swear, Windwalker's like a top 5 to 6 spec every single season in Mythic Plus. And there's been seasons where they aren't tuned really well. They're just like built for dungeons. Like their whole kit is made for doing dungeons well, right? There's other classes like this too, right? Yeah, something like mage, windwalker, demon hunter. I don't know. There's a few specs. Shadow Priest had a huge come up this expansion, but even historically, Shadow Priest has not been a good dungeon class. Locke has also had a lot of seasons where they weren't good, but a lot of seasons where they were. It might actually be Mage Lock Windwalker or like Mage Rogue Windwalker. It's actually, I'm pretty sure it's Mage Windwalker Rogue. Someone probably has stats on this also, rather than us just making it up, but that's what my guess would be on. No shot if you're taking spec, maybe. Yeah, we're talking DPS specs. Yeah, not yeah. Yeah, if you're talking classes, you do a top 5 classes because there's 5 spots in a dungeon. We're only talking DPS. But yeah, my only point in saying that is are you more likely to be played in Mythic Plus specifically if you are like reworked, I guess? The answer is yeah, because your class is maybe getting some tools that makes it really good. And that's not necessarily stops or utility. It can be just the way you do damage, right? Like, I don't know, there's a world where Frosty K is like really fucking sick in dungeons, right? It just comes down to tuning. Like, if you're playing like an obliterate variant in dungeons and you just have pillar every pull and you slap in pillar, I mean, you would, why wouldn't you be great? You know, you have some extra ways to AoE while you're single targeting. It could happen, right? You can talk about how Reppy T is being such a good little sleepy dog. He is, isn't he? Look at him. Look at that little guy. Hi, Rep. Hi, Rep. Oh, he is a sleepy boy. I was out running with him in the yard before this. Bro, is that room covered with the guts of shredded toys? Yeah, I have someone who comes and cleans my house, but they always skip this room if I have to stream during the time they're here. And it's been like a month since I haven't been streaming when they usually come, so this room just like stays from whatever they've destroyed in that amount of time. Are you still looking to play the Elden Ring DLC before The War Within comes out? Oh, that's a good idea. I have a couple. It seems like a weekend thing that I would do. This weekend, I actually really want to watch the TGP finals. I missed week 1, which apparently was really sick. And week 2, I'm not gonna lie, was insanely fucking boring to watch. Like, the first 2 days, you obviously knew who was going to get eliminated, and that was a little boring. And then the last day, I didn't feel a lot of stress for Dorky qualifying or not because I knew their whole team would be perfectly happy with not qualifying because they would be done. So, like, there was no stakes for me. But the finals, if you actually look at who's playing in the finals, it should be a fucking heater. It should be really fun. Wait, no elimination in the finals? Wait, what? It's just all 6 teams playing until Sunday? Wait, maybe that could be good. I mean, wait, that sounds really good because, like, realistically, if a team is eliminated and if a team is, like, clearly way behind, it's the same thing, but you just potentially have more content. I guess it adds a little less, like, hype at the end of the first 2 days, but I think it sets up a potentially really interesting 6th day. I mean, watching last weekend, I think it's kind of like an anything can happen with the stipulation that mandatory and miscount looked, if you're just judging purely based on the qualifiers, looked diffy. Right? Miscount just looked better than Echo did. But you know, Miscount looked better than Echo in the last TGP qualifiers, and then Echo absolutely fucking turbo pub stomped everybody. So you always have to give Echo the benefit of the doubt. That's just what they've earned, right? That now, if they lose 2 tournaments in a row, we could start having some conversations, right? But seems like the big teams are kind of mandatory Echo and Miscount. They looked the best, but a lot of the other teams are really talented. So I think you might see a lot of interesting shit. Dratnos guild team's looking good. Fired Up's in there. That's pretty fun. Now said in Dorky's chat last night they didn't use all their tech for this one. Oh, that's my favorite bit. Let's see. Echo's good at taking all info from the cups and putting in the work before finals. It's interesting how that changes. Echo's actually usually really good at being the team that comes up with a bunch of really good shit and then everyone takes it from them. But I would say more than that, but I will say that also that is true where like they'll come up with the best of everything. That you would think that, but then like going into that, okay, wouldn't you say the same thing for going into the last group stage though? They got to see group stage 1. And after you see group stage 1 or A, you can like optimize what they did, combine it with what you did, and then show up to the best in group B. But Missed Count just straight up had like better routes than Echo. They were faster. The runs looked cleaner. This was from, I didn't watch every day because I was bored, but this is from Growl and JB, who watched the whole thing pretty religiously, especially Growl, right? So that like, I mean, maybe for the finals, unless you're operating under the assumption of like, oh, they don't really care because it's the qualifiers. They don't really care. It's the time trials. That definitely sounds like some Echo fan copium because I know that team never likes losing and they always want to win no matter what and play as hard as they can. But also, could be true, right? I just find it hard to believe you get very few chances to compete. That team loves competing. I think they always compete as hard as they possibly can. I don't think they randomly don't care for weekends. I actually think it is impossible for them to not care. They're just not built like that. They need to try a break the meta TGP to make it more interesting. The class diversity you would see in break the meta would be crazy fun to watch. Imagine what all these teams would come up with. Yes and no. Depending on how you set up tournaments like that. Like, I even had a concept where you basically get a bunch of players from different teams and you agree on the value of every class, and then you basically give yourself $15 to choose a Mythic Plus team, right? And $5 are the best, like, spec, whatever. So it's like Vengeance Demon Hunter would be 5, Resto Druid would be 5, and then like each spec after that costs a different amount of money, I guess, and then you can choose in every dungeon how to spend that. And like maybe you'd see some kind of diversity, but the reality is like there would just be a meta for how to spend your money. And then maybe I guess you're smarter and it's like maybe if instead of $15 you have 14 or 18, and then you like, okay, everyone's choosing this class. This class seems too value for the amount it is. Okay, well then you change that, you nerf it, you buff it. It would require a lot of adjustment, but even then I still think you would see a lot of the same thing. The reality is if you're watching a dungeon tournament, you're gonna watch the same comps. That's just what it is, man. It's just what it is. Like, I know it'd be interesting if everyone's running different comps, different. It's just always going to happen. And to me, that doesn't matter to me. But I know to viewers it does. It's like the most complained about thing ever because they just want to see that. But it's just not how it's built. Class ban phases. Well, then another thing that people complain about is how it's boring that one team always wins. Obviously, Echo lost the last event. But do you guys... Like, I heard this was actually... Someone asked us this question on Pod EC. Maybe it was a Patreon question recently, or maybe it was actually during the Pod EC. I don't remember. But they were like, I wish they like wouldn't let you play the best specs so we could actually see. Maybe there's some teams. I think what the way that they phrased it is they were like, maybe there's some teams out there that play off meta specs that would actually be able to compete with Echo and stuff. They just don't play those specs. And it's like, oh my God, you sweet summer child. If only you knew how much more insanely beat down these teams would get. Like, the gap between the best team, whatever the best team is, mandatory Echo, miscount, whatever. And like the team that they're advocating for with meta classes is actually significantly smaller than if they were playing like random bad classes, because it turns out those teams are also the best multi-classers. So they're just going to be even better. Interesting question is, why were there varied comps in the past? What has changed? Well, what are you referring to specifically? So the only dungeon tournament I believe that ever had like a decent amount of class diversity was Season 1 Dragonflight MDI. And, you know, which probably seems pretty obvious, that season was also the season with the best tuning. Like, that season just had really good overall tuning. So you saw a lot of different classes. As far as seasons before that, you saw different classes, but you didn't see different classes from the teams that were actually in contention for winning. Very rarely. Like, you'd see what happened before is less good teams would qualify in the past, and they would just play whatever, and there would be technically class diversity, but not from teams that really had a chance at winning. So it does that really matter, you know? Like, as much as you guys want to see class diversity, if you see some team that made it into the tournament and they're just playing all off meta specs and then they just get smoked in the first series and they lose, like, is that better than what you get now? Like, I don't know. What is it? You saw some varieties in the group stages when globals came out. Almost everyone played the same comps. No, it was in the global finals. I think there were 17 specs played, which is like a lot. It's like half of them in the game. Yeah. That's why I brought it up. We're not gonna. This is a fucking boring, old, tired conversation, by the way. We're not doing this. We're not doing the fucking why are they all playing the same comp bit. Like, just it. We're not gonna solve that today. That's the, you know. Beta build waiting room. I didn't know if there was going to be a beta build today. It seems like there might be. So I might stay on for that. I just went live because I wanted to hang out with you guys. That's all. I like just randomly saying things on my stream. It's fun. WoW's been turbo boring lately, so I've been playing other stuff. Gotta love parasocial hangout time. Yeah. What is it? Have you played Once Human at all? No, I saw people playing that. I actually have a Twitch bounty to play that, I believe. Do I still have it? Yeah, stream Once Human for 1 hour. For some dollary dues. But I don't know if it's my kind of game. I'm just not sure about it. What is it? Is it, let's see, Once Human. Oh, it's a survival. I don't care about survival games. I've never played a survival game that I've enjoyed. It's just not my thing. Is there anything from Terraceland you'd like WoW to add? No fucking way. WoW is just better Terraceland. Nah. Terraceland, like, the only reason Terraceland is fun is it has really, really good raid bosses. Like, if WoW's rating is a 9 out of 10, Terraceland is a... Or if WoW's a 10 out of 10, Terraceland's like a 9 out of 10 in rating. It just randomly has some of the best MMO rating I've ever seen, but the rest of the game just totally stinks. So, like, it's like WoW just does everything better than Terraceland does, but it like gets the closest to WoW of anything I've seen, purely class design and rating wise. Oh, what Terraceland does cool, actually, I guess you could say 10 mans, and then also they have like 10 buttons or less class design that's actually sick. It's not better than WoW, but it's like a good, if you were ever going to make the argument for like 10 button or less classes, you would use that game. They shit on every other game that's trying to do that. But that's basically it. By the way, before anyone asks, I don't recommend you play Terraceland. You'd probably hate it. The only people that would have fun playing Terra's Land are people who enjoy raiding in WoW and they have friends they could commit to play the game with them, and you guys have a 10-man of your own players and you guys just play the game free to play and you just do the challenge raid content. And if that's you, you will have an absolute fucking blast. It is insanely fun. But if you're not exactly those people, you'll hate the game because it's not very good. And that's extremely rare to find people who care about that. So, what is it exactly? Terra's Land is only fun if you have 10 buddies and you raid the hardest difficulty. Yep, I've never said anything else. Add Terra's Land. Guys, I promise you Terra's Land would not be very happy with me saying the game is extremely dog shit except for one part. That would be the worst ad of all time. But yeah, even then, like, Terra's Land's slowing down a bit. Terra's Land is an excellent little escape from WoW a little bit while we're in this boring-ass cycle. It's been really, really fun. Which, I don't know what's wrong with me, but I think I'm, like, super different than most MMO players, and I don't know what it is about me. Because, like, let's say I play Terra's Land and I have a blast. But then the new WoW expansion comes out, and I don't know if it's going to be true, but let's just say I never play Terra's Land again. I would only have a positive view in my mind of Terra's Land, and I wouldn't hate the game, and I would have enjoyed the time I spent on it, and I would have been happy that it helped me kill some time. But it seems like the normal MMO response would be like, because it's not the game I'm playing for the rest of my life, it was actually a huge failure. And I would constantly think about it every day and complain that I don't play the game anymore, and I talk about what would make the game great, and I would just be mad permanently. What is wrong with me where I don't have that normal MMO player response? Because I'm old? Ah, shit. I'm just fucking old. All right, Ella wants to say hi, everybody. All right, girl, say what you need to say. Come here. Say what you need to say. Come on, let's go. Come on. Come on, big girl. Come on. It's all yours, girl. You're just gonna breathe on him like that? How long have you been a dog? No? Okay. Has she, does she do the famous Dane lean? Oh, yeah. So because they're litter mates, they're, like, very, like, they just lay on top of each other and they don't care. So, like, what they'll do when, like, people come and meet them is they'll do the forbidden double lean. So, like, one of them will be leaning on you and the other one will be leaning on the other dog on you, and it will, like, knock you over. I have actually... My mom had like knee surgery, and like she was saying hi to the dogs, and they're usually pretty chill, so that's safe. But then like they were doing the double lean, and I'm like, Mom, you gotta be careful. They will take your ass out. They'll just keep leaning. All right, baby girl, did you just want? What did you want? Did you just want a little? Did you just want me to say hi? Dude, she's such a sweet girl. She's recovered well from her surgery. She was like back to full energy even like a week after it. When was that? Was that like a month and a half ago? Ella, remember when you ate a hand towel? Do you remember that? You remember when you just saw a hand towel and you're like, I'm gonna eat that? You remember when you did that? That was fucking stupid, huh? You know, Ella, you owe me like $15,000 from that. How are you gonna make this back? What can you do for work? What can you do? What can you fucking do, huh? You have no skills, Ella. You need to get in like a doggy vocational school. What can't she do? I don't know. Only paws? Yeah. Max, pull your chat and ask how many would unsub if no dogs on the screen. Use that to determine her wage. Dude, speaking of like tying all of this entire long yap session of my stream together, wait, I totally forgot what I was gonna fucking say. Dude, my brain is washed today. Oh yeah, the relationship thing. Okay, guys, another thing. This is my personal thing. If I was like considering getting in a relationship with someone and I was finding out more about them, if I found out that someone didn't like dogs, that would be the absolute biggest red flag I think there could be. Just in general, like as a personality, that is strange to me. Right? Like that just wouldn't work. I mean, obviously it wouldn't work because I have 3 dogs. So like obviously if you're gonna date someone and it goes well, then they move into my house and then they're here with 3 dogs they don't like, that would obviously just not add up. But I just mean like as a personality trait, that's pretty tough. You don't even have to really, really like dogs. I'm talking dislike. And maybe there's a small thing where if they're like afraid of dogs because like they witnessed a like dog attack when they were kids and they've just never gotten over it and never been around them, but they're open to it. But I just can't see someone that's like living in my house and then like avoiding my dogs and that being a relationship that's going to work out. That just sounds like a nightmare because I'm always going to have dogs. So I don't care who you are. You're never being like, we're not getting dogs. Ain't no way. Or they're allergic. That's different than not liking. I'm clearly referring to people who are like, ew, dogs? Nah. What if you love this new girl, but your dog and her dogs hate each other? Bro, we did that for a while. Like, did you all, like, Suki and I went through that. That was actually, honestly, a really annoying part of our relationship for both of us. That none of us did anything wrong, but, like, one of my dogs and one of her dogs had to be permanently separated. We tried to like remedy it over a long period of time, but it just was they had a beef that could not be solved. It was they see each other and they would instantly fight to the death if you did not separate them. And they're both really sweet dogs. You would never know this if you ever met these dogs. They are the sweetest thing. But one of them had to go. It was on site, yeah. That was pretty tough. Same sex, yeah, they're both girls, yeah. Gotta respect the passion. Max, how do you look past your relationship in hindsight? What do you mean? What does that mean? Like, how do I view it? Great. I don't regret any of that time. We had a great time. We grew together. We went on trips. We supported each other. It was great. Like, I don't regret any of that time. I wouldn't change it. It like shapes you as a person. We just ended up wanting different things and both realizing it at a similar time. It truly was perfectly fine. Yeah. I look at it really positively. I wonder what kind of answer you're looking for. Maybe some people are like, any time you spent in a relationship that didn't end up in marriage or being with someone for the rest of your life is a waste because you could have been spending that time with that person, I guess. I can kind of see that point of view. That's not how I look at life at all, though. Like, at all. But I could see someone feeling that way. Yeah. You must be married and have kids by this age. Some people, well, I also know that girls feel that way more than guys do, though. Well, also because girls are literally on a clock. I guess everyone's on a clock, kind of, but they're on a much faster clock. So they do, if they do want to have kids, they kind of feel like they have to start doing this, you know? What's the best kind of sandwich? Guys, I've been absolutely murdering a number 13 from Jersey Mike's with no olive oil or tomatoes for a month or two now. That's my fucking go-to. That's an absolutely... And guys, I wish this was an ad. I used to be sponsored by Jersey Mike's. Jersey Mike's used to be a Team Liquid sponsor. I believe they don't have it anymore for a while. I could be wrong. Yeah, I don't think they're a sponsor anymore. So I'm not obligated to say that. I'm just shouting out Jersey Mike's for the love of the game. Usually it's no free ads out here, but they deserve it. Jersey Mike's fucking slams. Shout out when Jersey Mike's was sponsoring our race in Sepulcher, and the first time their segment that they bought was the Jersey Mike's Listen In, which meant that on the main broadcast we would basically, the casters would just be casting, and then every now and then they'd be like, let's do a Jersey Mike's Listen In to see the player's perspective. And every single time it was unbelievably bad. Like, so the very first one was during splits, and it was Tags doing Would You Rathers, and he chose to do the worst Would You Rather of all time, which was, would you rather fuck a goat? This is the first words that were uttered after the Jersey Mike's Listen In. And here we're going to turn it over to the Jersey Mike's Listen In. All right, guys. Would you rather fuck a goat or not fuck a goat, but everyone thinks you did? Which is a truly crazy would you rather, right? And I don't know why specifically then Tags decided to go off the deep end with that. But that was the first thing. And then the other one was, do you guys remember that Halandris heroic split clip from our guild where everyone's like speed sheeshing and yelling and screaming and someone like yeehawed or whatever at the end? It's like a 30-second long clip of just absolute ridiculous shit. Okay, that was the second one. That was the second time they listened in. So that was the first two. And then for the rest of the raid, they were like fine, and then there was a couple of bad ones. But like, I just found that so funny that that's like my relationship to Jersey Mike's. Hold on, this one's a thinker. Yeah, I've thought about this one a lot. It would suck to go for the rest of your life with the shame of being known as the guy that fucked a goat, but there's no way we're fucking the goat, right? Like, there's, at the end of the day, that's not happening. I don't know. I'll, like, change my name. I'll, like, go to a different country or something. But, like, there's ain't no way. Someone in chat, I'm busting in that goat. The point is that everyone knows and you can't hide it. Yeah, but I don't know. There's a lot of stupid people in this world. I'm sure you'd be able to like go to some part of the world or country where like someone knows someone who's fucked a goat and they're probably okay with it. You know, like some deep in the country type shit. Like they don't like it, but they're like, yeah, everyone has their flaws kind of shit, you know? Or did you link the liquid acting normal clip? Let's see. Ah, yes. The best part about this clip is it's on the Team Liquid YouTube channel, and you can see the Jersey Mike listen-in thing in the top left.
The dweeb, man.
Air fist mount, bro.
There it is.
There it is.
Oh shit, they're doing a Jersey Mike's listening.
I'm dying now.
Oh,
Yeah,
they
good.
are?
Just keep
It's like
walking.
a
Rip
All
another
right,
question.
Keep it normal, guys.
No.
Dude, Jet is just fucking loving this, man.
That's just watching. Wait, is production howling too? Yeah, I think production's howling too. 2 minutes.
Thank you,
2
Honda. Thank you, Jersey Mikes.
Thank you.
What is wrong with us?
I don't know. It's getting progressively
It's like
worse.
4 people.
It's
Yeah,
like
it's getting-
Ben and
it's
Ned
getting
was mostly-
progressively
Yeah.
It's Ben.
Yeah, it's Ben. Dude, I bet Ben was so mad when people are... There's zero chance Ben would do that as well. Dude, you know what's the craziest moment of that race? Was Birch... We were all... Okay, let me draw this out. Alright, so we're all, like, sitting here, just a bunch of people. With really short left arms for some reason. And we're just sitting here, hanging out. Just being people. Okay? And then Ben is at his computer, which was right here. So there's a desk, and then there's like a little chair. And then there's Ben, and he's at his computer, just chilling like this. All right. And then Birch just walks by us. Why are you dabbing? Yeah, they all do kind of look like they're dabbing. It was like me and Mavie and someone else were here. And Birch just walks by us with a carton of milk and is like has this devilish looking grin on his face, and we're like, Birch, what's up? Like, what are you doing? And he goes, I'm gonna give Ben expired milk. And the milk was like a month expired. And then he just went over to Ben's desk and just fucking gave him the milk and then left. It's fucking evil, bro. I never seen anyone do some shit like that. He just went back to his shit. He went back to his table. That's some devious behavior. I don't know if Ben sipped it or not. I didn't step in. That would be interfering with a wild interaction. That's not my place. Did he ask for milk at any point? People were hitting the chalkies pretty hard back then, so probably. Wait, Max, you should have left the paint open for future when you were confused why you had that drawn. I would have remembered instantly, I think. The reason why I didn't remember that other one is it just looked like a random graph, but I draw those all the time to make one really abstract point, and then I only know how to do that with graphs. So, it's tough. But that's okay. Yeah, I mean, I'm not even... Guys, I'm not, like, sitting around waiting for a beta build. I also don't think any of you all should be either. Like, the only thing you're going to see in beta builds from now until the expansion, most likely, is, like, this ability buffed by 20%, this ability nerfed by 30%, this hero talent nerfed in half, this hero talent buffed by triple. It's just gonna be that. That's also what the game needs the most right now by far. The game is really behind in tuning, so. Some bug fixes, yeah. Max, have you given your thoughts on new raid design? Do you mean like broad thinking, or do you think like just on each individual boss? I think there isn't anything broadly different with raid design, so I guess that answers that question. But you mean like the other bot? I don't know. I think I have. Maybe not. Did you watch Haruma Red's Race to World First video? I did. Honestly, that video was really strange to me because they did a top 10 Race to World First moments and they didn't include Paragon on the list at all. And Young Dip hit that skip, made the list at number 9 and not any of Paragon, which was like just madness. It was pretty weird. Also, the top 10 moments of the Race World First all involve my guild being great. And I'm not biased at all either. So I felt like the list was wrong. The tuning has been insanely good in Dragonflight. Remember how they said they think they figured out tuning back in Vault? Do you think they actually figured it out so it takes less time to tune nowadays? Maybe. I'll believe that when... Like, it would... I am led to believe that it's... Like, they could get this under control pretty fast. Like, all things considered, not including AUG, they've done a really good job of balancing... Let's forget Mythic Plus. Because I actually don't really pay much attention to it outside of my viewers complaining about it. Raid tuning, this expansion, has been really good. Like, overall, probably the best expansion ever as far as tuning is concerned. Overall. And at the beginning of the expansion, it was, like, Season 1, Season 2 was, like, fucking peak in Raid. Specifically in Raid. So, like, I would assume they do know how to... But it's like, bro, it's just too close to the expansion. I'm definitely freaking out. Like, there's just too many things fucking... They're all just Mickey Mouse numbers. They're all made up. I really hope there's no borrowed power this X-Pack, even though Small and Dragonflight still had the Onyx ring. What? I mean, gear is borrowed power. Guys, borrowed power is fine. Like, borrowed power is only not good when it's, like, bad or it's the only thing that you're getting for content. Like, when every new content patch is like, oh, here's new borrowed power thing. That was getting old, and we moved away from that. But, like... Borrowed power alone has become a buzzword, but it's perfectly fine. Like, bro, you're going to tell me you think corruption was bad? Bro, corruption made the game so much better. Like, so much better. The game, like, yeah, okay, the beginning of BFA felt bad, but would you have still liked to live a WoW life where you never got to experience Season 4 BFA with corruption? Like, that was amazing. There's been... Legion Legendaries were amazing. Like, borrowed power has just become a buzzword, man. And now I'm mad. And now I'm mad. And look at that. Look at that. And now I'm mad. You know, I'm going to blast the fuck off right now. Let's go. Get huge. Get big. That's the only way I know how to not be mad is to get big. And have all of you all stay beneath me. Need a faster desk? I like this desk, dude. It's a Herman Millie desk. It broke when I moved to... I got it in Texas when we were with Complexity because we were sponsored by Herman Miller. And then we got we moved to LA and like somehow in the move this desk stopped working and I called Herman Miller and they like asked for a couple of pieces of information and they sent someone to my house immediately to fix it. It was the craziest shit I've ever seen. They've got that crazy customer service. How's the sponsor situation going for Liquid? Is it still in shambles or looking good? I think esports in general is kind of shambles, right? Like you can kind of see people you can see like here's the most damning thing for esports, right? Is they got a bunch of VC funding at the end of the 2010s. They were the hot thing to invest into, so a lot of people were just giving them millions and millions of dollars to grow this. And then VCs stopped investing in esports. And then crypto became big, so they got all the crypto money, which is sketchy to say the least. VC money, sketchy. Crypto, sketchy. And then now the crypto money dried up for a lot of these orgs. And now it's like, oh, the Saudi World Cup is happening. So like now they're taking Saudi money. So it's not even really the money they're taking. It's more just like, man, they're just going to keep doing this, huh? Like they're just going to take every bit. Like they're taking whatever they can get, which is obviously a cry for help. So yeah, I don't know how all that stuff's going. I'm not super locked in to all that, but esports in general as an industry, games are thriving, publishers are thriving. Esports itself is definitely not thriving. The good news for us, though, is we are as far as I know, a profitable venture for Liquid. They make more money than they pay us. So our value is still great. But also, we're less esports and more content, right? Like, if you think about it, like, yeah, we compete, but, like, really why we give value to Team Liquid is because of the viewership we generate every race, right? So we're kind of diversified enough to not be affected by esports because we're not like conventional esports, really. What is it? Also, Race World First Liquid merch goes insane. Oh yeah, I'm so happy that we have. Yeah, Team Liquid's awesome, man. Like they do really high quality stuff like that. We feel very taken care of. Liquid's great. I imagine if we tried to do our own merch and stuff, it'd be horrible. Something that is very nice is being able to only focus on what you're good at focusing at and then have other people deal with the other shit. Like, I'm just thinking, like, leading up to a race, I'm trying to imagine if I had to, like, try to convince talent to sign on to cast or deal with player salaries or deal with the merch team or try to convince sponsors to give us money. I don't have to do any of that shit, which is amazing because I'd be bad at it, right? So yeah, all I have to do is lay on the floor and model some clothes every now and then. What is it? Does Liquid mind that your stream tends to get more viewers than the official Liquid Race World First streams? They told me a while ago that they didn't. Because like of some Twitch contract metric, but I can definitely tell within the last few tiers that it's fine, but like they would definitely prefer to have all of those viewers on their main channel for sure. Like I remember there was like a conversation literally had with me in between the race of like, how can we move viewers from your channel to the Team Liquid channel? And I'm just like, I don't know. Like people just kind of go where they're going to go. Like they want to listen to what they want to listen to, you know? Like I guess I could just not stream. But yeah, what an awkward question. Yeah, I had to like figure out how the fuck to answer that. Raid the Team Liquid channel? I do after every stream, yeah. Racer, what is it? Casting is just less entertaining to listen to you all talk. That seems to be what it is. That's what viewers say it is. Like, Echoes, all their main viewers are on the main stream. But also Echo mutes their comms all the time. I can tell you that it would probably be the same case at Echo, but they just mute their comms. Like, we muted our comms for a tier, and our viewership plummeted. So, like, clearly a large percentage of people prefer the comms, right? I like the Liquid players with the Echo casters. I think you'll like our casters this time. What is it? No way you got Barack Obama to cast? We did. We got him. He loves WoW. He loves the race. That would be hype. Now they're doing the young dip. Hit that skip. I would watch Cat's watch party. Bro, imagine if Dorky and Growl are casting the race, but they're just cats. That would actually be... I think people would actually really want to watch that, but I can tell you that Liquid would definitely never be down for, like, without people being at the event in person, because you just can't sell sponsors the same way. The Cat Cast. Yeah, also both of them just like hate Raid. So I don't even think they would find it interesting. Oh, get real cats. Wait. Okay, hear me out. Cat Cast segment during the day on Race to World First. They're talking, but there's just 2 cats on a couch, like real cats. Just being cats. That's pretty fucking good. The only problem is they'd be casting a raid event and they hate raiding. That would not be good. But they do like money. They do. Everybody do be liking money. Max, how different do you think raid comps would look if there was no raid buffs? Oh, what do you think? You know, it's actually an interesting question because, like, Race to World First level optimization has not been... Like, since the last time there were no raid buffs, which was... Legion? Right? Is that right, Legion? Is that when you could just bring whatever? The Race to World First optimization wise has absolutely blasted. Like, I'm pretty sure if you were to have no raid buffs nowadays, you would be routinely seeing 10 plus of the same class. Because, like, I mean, you would just, I mean, it's just too optimal now, and there's too much multi-classing. You would just see, like, the classes you need to survive, and then it would just be 8 to 12 of the best DPS spec. They would be that levels of optimized. Now, you'd probably... Okay, now that I'm thinking about it more, it wouldn't be as stacked because you need to get tier. So, like, and you want tier on your DPS. So your mythic comp would have to include, like, at least 2 to 3 from each tier token. Bare minimum. Just so you could make use of mythic gear. You're just going to be having stuff drop that you can't use. So, like, you'd have that. You'd have enough to soak gear to have as much eye level as you can, but then after whatever that magic number is, then you would just bring whatever you think is the best. Sounds to me like that would give Blizzard some incentive to actually... No. I think you're... there's a lot of people who don't want raid buffs, and I think a lot of those people are dungeon people, or like Race to World First guilds specifically, but I think most guilds that exist benefit from the raid buff situation. Most mythic guilds benefit, because they have players that play a main, and they know they always need one of those, and that's fine. And that, like, gets class diversity across the game. I think the balance and everything would actually potentially be a lot worse if there was that kind of stuff available. I actually think raid buffs have a positive impact on almost everyone who raids, but a negative impact certainly on the Race World First because it's just less creative, and certainly a negative impact on Mythic Plus players. No beta build till now means no beta build. I have no clue, man. I don't care about the beta build at all. I'm not here for the beta build today, and you shouldn't be either. Here, guys, let's make Let's make a beta build. Ready? Here's what I'll prepare you guys ahead of time. Random ability buffed by 25%. Random ability nerfed by 15%. Class hero talent nerf across the board. Bad hero talents buffed a little bit. That's what it's gonna be. That's what you're gonna read today, probably. Like something like that. It's just gonna have numbers go up and down. Oh yeah, and enhance rework to remove 2-pointers. Just kidding. Stay small. Hold earth. Elements. Nameplate improvement? Nah, that ain't coming. I think what you're seeing right now, The War Within, when Season 1 comes out, is going to look almost exactly how it looks right now, except the game's just going to be a lot better balanced. But I think class design, overall game philosophy is the same. You're seeing what you're getting now. And I think maybe the biggest problem with that, copium? What do you mean copium? You think the balance isn't going to be better than it is now when The War Within Season 1 comes out? That it would be impossible for it to be worse. Right now is 10 times worse than it's ever been in a current season. Without, it's like not even comparable. It cannot be worse. What was I gonna say? I forget. Max, what do you think about healer changes? I don't know. I'm in parentheses trying to get you to talk about something I know you don't like talking about. Oh, let's talk about beta. I don't care about the beta build today. I'm just yapping right now. I'm just yapping until I want to... Oh, I kind of want to go to the gym. I want to go to the gym early so I can take caffeine. I kind of want to try pre-workout at the gym again. I haven't taken pre-workout at the gym for a long time because I go at like 8 or 9 p.m. And like taking caffeine that late in the night before you go to bed will ruin your quality of sleep. And then it's kind of like irony, right? Like why would you take pre-workout to have a better workout just to ruin your sleep, which will make the value of your workout significantly less? You need to sleep for your body to adapt to what you did at the gym. So I want to try going earlier. Nah, Max, please don't start with this caffeine crap. No, caffeine makes me feel like I can fight a bear. So I want to do that before I work out so I can lift more and hurt my muscles more so they can grow back bigger. It doesn't ruin my sleep? Yes, it does. It does. It scientifically does. There's nothing you can... Like, oh, well, I don't feel it. Like, but what I mean ruin your sleep, by the way, doesn't mean ruins your ability to fall asleep. It just ruins the quality of your sleep. That is objectively true. That is scientifically proven. But you can take caffeine like before, let's say you go to bed at like midnight, you can take caffeine like 3, 4, 5 p.m. Just like probably 3 or 4, just not after that. Obviously the later the worse, and the higher amount of caffeine the worse. Don't give me this. I did my own research. All right, my bad. What is it? A bear would take your bench personal record and beat your ass to death with it. Well, yeah. That's true with everyone here, though. Why are you fucking slamming? Why are you specifically slandering me? A bear, guys, a bear would fuck everybody up in here right now. A bear would absolutely torch everyone in this chat. Not, yes, it would. Yes, it fucking would. Yes, it would. You're killing that bear. Dude, honestly, I'm not even mad at you guys. W mindset. That is the best mindset to go to the gym at all time. Just absolutely positive that you just fucking shit on a bear. You just kill that bear. I love that shit. W. Max, when you know a raid is 100% going into the second week, is it ever a consideration to do a second mythic run in week 1 to try and high roll someone's second character? No. We've never considered that. Like, the reality is it would just take too much time, and the fact that you're, like, the scenario is you're on the last boss, you know that you want to bring someone else's class after the reset. They would have had to not been saved to mythic so far yet, and then you would, like, you think you're gonna kill the boss quickly. My only thing is, in almost all scenarios, the 2 to 3 hours to take it would take to do that would be not as valuable as 2 to 3 extra hours of progression on that fight to be better at it going into the week. Almost all the time. That's true. When was the last time Max read YouTube chat? Recently. I read it earlier when I read some guy typed in all caps. His hype. I read YouTube chat all the time. I kind of read between, I like pick messages between the both of them. They're right next to each other. Max, do you golf? Never got into golf. Not a golf guy. I had a chance to get into golf too, because when I was in high school, I worked at a country club, and I washed like golf clubs, and I cleaned golf carts and got golf carts for people. It was actually a pretty sweet job. And one day a week, they like closed the greens for like maintenance. But on those days, you could just play the full 18 holes for free if you were a golfer. But I just never took advantage of that because I didn't give a fuck about golfing. But yeah, I mean, that would have been sick if not. That's the most bougie-ass job to have as a high schooler. It's a pretty nice job. Yeah, it's sick. Max, have you found that YouTube chatters will just drop the craziest messages under their real name? Yeah, it's fucking wild. They're like full-ass legal government name. They'll just say whatever. Like this guy in chat right now, his name's Chad Keltner. And he said, I can fight a bear. Bro, Big Bear's gonna read that. Come on. You don't want to be in the crosshairs of Big Bear. Yo, by the way, have I streamed since... Oh, yeah, I have. We talked about it. I remember. Let's see. Will the Potty C be talking about cheesy strats during the War Within? What? What do you mean by that? Chat's losing gas? Yeah, I know. I'm about to dip. You guys think that I'm entertaining you, but really you guys just entertain me for like 3 hours and then I get bored and leave. That's really what happens, actually, on like most streams. So pay us? No. I don't think I will. Oh, just like cool strategies you guys have seen in keys? No, I don't give a fuck about Mythic Plus, man. I don't think you're gonna get that. Dude, imagine how boring our podcast would be if like halfway through it we're just like, all right, guys, here's a segment. Here's some cool Mythic Plus stuff we're gonna show you this week. Like it would just be like it would just interrupt the flow of everything. It'd be so ass. Hey guys, check out our little Mythic Plus. Actually, I think Titanforge podcast did that. That's not Titanforge podcast slander, by the way. I enjoy Titanforge podcast. It was a different podcast with a different audience. That was probably good for them, but for us it would be bad. Oh, yeah, unintentional dunking on Titanforge, yeah. You know what? I was like looking at deals on Prime Day earlier, and I saw a smart ring. What's that all about? What's the purpose of a smart ring? What is the aura? I don't know what it's called. It just said like smart ring. It's a health tracker. Oh, so it's like, is it like a Fitbit-ass looking thing? But instead of it being some annoying thing on your wrist, it's like it's like a ring on your finger. So it like tracks your sleep, your just random shit, heart rate. Oh, that's actually really smart because a lot of people don't want to wear a Fitbit or like a smartwatch. It's like way less intrusive. And I bet it has like really long battery life. Okay, I actually just convinced myself that that's probably actually a good product for people who want stuff like that. I don't think I'd ever do it though. I have a smartwatch and this thing it like runs my life. I would be unable to do anything without it. Of course you do. I'm serious, dude. I like forget to eat and drink during the day randomly, and like just for me, if I have a hockey game at 7, right? And I have an alarm going off for when I need to have my meals and when I need to drink enough water, I will do it every time. And if I didn't have that, I would only eat like once or twice. I would forget to eat again, and then I would either be too close to the game to eat to where you'd have an upset stomach, or I would go to the game without eating and I would have no energy. And that fucking sucks. So, yeah. Speaking of that, I'm going to go grab some water now. Dude, chat, where'd I leave my water bottle? It's not in my room. It's not in my living room. And it's not in my streaming room. Bathroom? What? No, I would never take it in the bathroom. In the fridge? I never put it. It's behind you? Oh, that's insane. That is insane that I fell for that, by the way. That is fucking crazy. Anyway, I'm gonna keep looking for it. All right. Max needs a smart water bottle with GPS tracking. All right. Okay. Dude, it actually was in my bathroom, by the way. But not the bathroom that's in, like, the middle of my house. It's the one in my bedroom. I must have taken it in there right before I took a shower last night. So I just slandered you for no reason. It's all good. It's all good. Max, how often do you just make stuff up on stream? Oh my god, permanently. Literally everything is made up. I just constantly spread misinformation on the internet. That's what I do in that fucking... in that Terrace Land game, because we're the only... like, we're the top people on the leaderboard for, like, NA. Like, in the region. So, like, when you look in-game, it shows our names next to, like, every raid boss. So, like, all these people keep asking me in the Terrace Land Discord, like, what to do. And I have no idea. So I just, like, make shit up. Like, every time they ask me, I just make it the fuck up. And they're like, thank you. And they just go on their day with that wrong information. Yeah. What's your source? Well, my source is I made it the fuck up. Quick question. This is super random. But is anybody watching my stream right now who found my stream from me streaming Terrace Land? Really unlikely. I'm just wondering if there's even like 10 people. Me, lol. Oh, that makes sense. He was talking about it earlier. No one is watching? What the fuck? I bet there's like 10 people or so. Because I would get like 4 to 5k viewers in that game. Which means those people are probably Terrace Land people. And then maybe they just started watching me. I don't think I'm going to stream that game much anymore, though. I'll probably do my dailies on it, and I'll only stream when new raid bosses come out. Like this Friday. Thank God. I know you guys were sad. I'm sorry. You guys expect a certain amount of yapping from me per day, and I was not giving you that level of yap. I know. That's the contract we signed. Are you going to farm pre-patch stuff? Absolutely not. Are you able to stream your hockey games? You know, I actually thought about that. That would be sick content, but I don't think I can for a few reasons. Number one, I think USA Hockey does not allow you to do that. Like, to play anywhere in America, you have to be a USA Hockey member, and I think USA Hockey does prohibit that. I also have a couple of other problems. A couple of my friends that I play with are very, very famous, and if I streamed where they were ever, that would be a huge fucking problem. And I didn't think that would be a problem, and it's a very unique problem, but when I posted that picture of me and Ryan, or when Touchpad Warrior tweeted that picture of me and Ryan, and literally thousands of girls change their profile picture to Ryan's face, I can't stream where he is live. Like that's like a legit risk of his well-being. Like I can't do that. And I play with him almost all the time. Which Ryan who? Ryan Ross. He used to write the songs for Panic at the Disco. Like he wrote this song. And he used to play guitar for them as well. This song. Yeah, that song. And he has like a bunch of fangirls. I can show you the picture. Here. Touchpad Warrior. He posted the picture of us at the game. And that's Ryan. And then go to this fucking tweet. Wait, how do you go to the tweet? Here we go. No. How do I go to the tweet? I want to look at the replies. I don't want to reply to it. Arrows top right. Oh, good shout. Okay, anyways. We're like, why does this have so many quote retweets and replies? And it's literally just girls who are seeing the first picture of Ryan online in the last few years because he doesn't have Twitter or whatever. And it's just people like Ryan Ross, he's alive, hundreds and hundreds. These are just the replies, bro. The quotes are like a bunch of girls that like changed their picture to this picture of him. It fucking insane. And Touchpad Warrior didn't even know he was doing that. He just like tweeted the picture and added him as well. Max look 3D in a picture challenge. Guys, fucking shut up, man. I don't want to hear it. Don't give me that face. You deserved it. Wow, it sounds actually like crazy abusive. Shut up. Don't give me that face. You deserved it. Bro, I sound like a fucking horrible person. Stay small though, chat. Listen, guys, I see Max on a daily basis. Yeah, that guy in chat. Wait, in fact, 2D. Bro. Yeah, that's my neighbor, chat. Do you wear contacts for hockey? No, I don't even need to wear glasses for streaming. I usually don't. I only wear glasses at my computer for blue light filtering. I didn't have to do that, and I didn't even stream with glasses for like 4 years. And then we did an Azoth progression, and looking at that super bright neon purple screen just fucked my eyes or something. And now if I look at a computer screen for longer than like 5 to 6 hours, I get like my eyes hurt. Unless I wear blue light filtering glasses. I also wear blue light filtering lotion and sunscreen, or what was that? What was that one product? What is it? You can just change the color temperature on your monitor. Yeah, I know that. I actually had a program, I think, that like... But my problem with that is it makes everything look like shit. Small problem. Like, making your monitor making colors different colors so it's easier on your eyes. I'd just rather wear glasses than have my monitor look like shit. Windows has it built in now? Yeah, but it looks terrible, right? What kind of glasses are those? These are called Gentle Monster. I got them in Korea. I think they have Gentle Monster locations in the US, but I think it's a Korean brand. Max, what are your thoughts on House of the Dragon so far? Love it. Love it. Great. They shit on Gunners. Bro, you guys don't know shit about Gunners. You guys know THD wore this shit to his fucking graduation? Look at that. Look at that. He wore that shit to graduate from high school. What an absolute beast. Last episode of The Acolyte tonight? Oh, I'm looking forward to that. I actually didn't like the last episode, but I did enjoy the majority of the season of The Acolyte, though. I actually really enjoyed it. But the last episode was like... I feel like they would rather do the like before and after story either through cold opens throughout the whole season or actually start with it rather than do it that late, in my opinion. Is The Acolyte actually any good? Yeah, I mean, so of all the Star Wars shows, Andor's way better than all of them. It's not as good as Mandalorian. It's better than Obi-Wan. Better than Boba Fett. It's definitely solid. It's a different kind of story. It was like a... It's like kind of... I mean, what's the best way to describe it? It's pretty good. I mean, it's been getting a lot of really negative press online, but it's for a lot of nefarious reasons. Not saying that anyone who doesn't like the show is not about this, but a lot of the hate for that show was like, fucking DEI and... They're fucking with my show that I really like. Like the anti-woke mob is like hates this show more than anything in the world. Not to say that anyone else couldn't have any. I actually have a lot of issues with the last episode specifically, but it's been pretty enjoyable, yeah. What is it? Andor is the only good Star Wars show in the last 10 years. I think Andor, and I consume pretty much all really good prestige TV. I think Andor is top 3 best show I've seen in 5 years. I don't even think you have to like Star Wars to get into Andor. I think Andor is fucking incredible. Three of the best monologues in all of television were in that one season of that show. Any Star Wars product that isn't one of the 6... Oh, you're so wrong. A lot of Star Wars is mid as fuck. Calling Andor mid is... You have no taste. Max would know monologues. Dude, yeah. I literally go on a monologue for fucking hours a day, bro. Every single day. I am the monologue expert. I just fucking talk and then I turn my stream off. That's it. Speaking of that, it's not going to be too much longer here. Okay, I monologue on stream though, but you know what I'm completely incapable of doing? I think people think acting is an easy job. All I know is when I see incredible monologues from actors that like really grip you, I'm like, dude, there's probably like like 50 people on this earth that can do what this person just did. Just like the most rare skill of all time. Like, have you guys seen, you know, it's actually a good example of this. I don't want to get my YouTube VOD taken down for watching it, but I mean, all the Andor ones, but have you guys seen the Bear season? Is it season 1? And it's the episode right before last, and it's Carmi doing that like Alcoholics Anonymous monologue for like 5 to 8 minutes. Something like that. Like, bro, that was fucking crazy. Like, I think it was at the end of one of those seasons, but that scene was like, I mean, in like the amount of people on this earth that can do that, it's the hardest thing. I could never do that. Like, I'm a pretty creative, I could never do that. What is it? I worked on the bear. That was his second take. I put his chair there. Bro, that's so cool. Dude, all of my mods are so goated, by the way. They're either goated or robots or like super degenerates. There's no in between. Actually, I think the robot's gone. I haven't seen him in a while. Him? They? Her? Robot? It? Guys, what's the proper pronoun for a robot? Help me out. I'm not trying to get in trouble here. Ask it. You're right. That's the correct answer. Beep/boop. That's actually funny as fuck. That's good. Oh, dude, who said that? Relamy? Oh, Relamy, you weren't even the first person to say it. I'll give Relamy mod. That way, when he links people his UI package, people will see it as official, and they know who to ask. I said it first. All right, I'll give you mod 2. Don't ban too many people, though. All right, and that's it. I'll see you guys tomorrow.